Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody enjoyed the Easter weekend with their friends and family. I know I most certainly did, and I hope everybody was safe all throughout the weekend. And it's a brand new week of sports and top 10 countdowns here on the channel. And of course, on Wednesday will be our top 10 countdown. Any suggestions for a top 10 countdown, please feel free to let me know. We just wrapped up the first weekend of the USFL season last night, and I'll be talking about that coming up one day later on this week. So if you have any thoughts on that, please feel free to let me know. And of course, I'm also going to be doing my NASCAR review from the NASCAR weekend on the dirt at Bristol Motor Speedway. So any thoughts on that, please feel free to let me know. But today we're going to be talking about Major League Baseball and a little bit of college football. We'll start out in the world of Major League Baseball, doing a quick Braves review for the first week and a half of the season. We know by now that this time of the year, unless you're just flat out absolutely horrible, this time of the season does not really matter. Your main goal is to try to get into a rhythm and keep all of your main players healthy, because last year the Braves were below 500 all the way until the middle of August, and they still won the World Series because it's a long season. But they started out last Thursday with a 4-game series, Thursday through Sunday against the Reds, where they won 2 and lost 2. And then they played the Nationals in a 3-game series where they only won 1. And then last night they wrapped up a 4-game series that started back on Thursday against the Padres. And again, it was a split. They won 2 and lost 2. So right now the Braves are sitting at 5-6 on the season. Back in action tonight, 10 o'clock on the East Coast, 7 o'clock on the West Coast, going up against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are off to an excellent start. So you get to see Freddie Freeman in his first game against the Braves after signing that big contract with the Dodgers. Now, so far, the Braves rookie pitcher Elder, through 2 starts, has looked absolutely amazing. He didn't pitch long last night. He only went 4 1/3 because he walked a ton of batters, but he still only gave up 2 runs. It's just the Braves didn't score and they got beat 2-1. But so far, their best pitcher has been Kyle Wright, which is a shock because through his first handful of Major League Baseball seasons, he's the pitcher the Braves always pump up to be so good. And then when the season starts, he'll have 1 good start and 7 bad starts. But he's looked really good through his first 2 starts this season. And I know right before the season started, I said the division would come down to the Braves and the Phillies, in my opinion, because the Mets look good on paper, but the Mets always look good on paper, and then come time for the season, they'll be right around 500. Now, they are off to an excellent start, but their schedule's been pretty weak so far. But already a week and a half into the season, Jacob Degrom is hurt, and another starting pitcher, Taijuan Walker, is hurt. Something about the Mets, when you put on a Mets uniform, you're just going to get hurt. So I still think it comes down to the Braves and the Phillies. Now, Ronald Acuna Jr. starts his rehab this week with Gwinnett. He's supposed to be back on the Major League roster coming up sometime at the end of the month, if not early May at the latest. Any thoughts on the Braves' early season, please feel free to let me know. Now on to today's college football discussion. And I'm only going to do this because everybody knows by now how much I despise ESPN. When I was in high school, I was a ESPN all day, every day kind of person. I was either watching sports or watching all their talk shows about sports. But here in about the last 7 years, it's turned into a propaganda network because so many people believe the absolute hot garbage they spew out of their mouth. So since so many people believe this stuff, they just keep spitting it out and seeing how many people just absolutely fall in love with it. And I'm just going to run down this list. It's a top 25. And then when I finish the list, I'm going to tell you why, in my opinion, this list makes absolutely no sense. But this is the top 25 toughest schedules in the country as we head into the 2022 college football season, according to ESPN. And when you hear this top 25, if you can make it make sense, please feel free to let me know because I've tried and I just can't make it make sense. The toughest schedule in the country, according to ESPN, is Auburn. Number 2 is the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. 3 is Georgia Tech. 4 and 5 is Vanderbilt and Tennessee. 6 is Alabama. 7 is Texas A&M. 8, South Carolina. 9, LSU. And 10 is Indiana. 11 through 15 is Rutgers, Notre Dame, Arkansas, Texas, and Florida. And 16 through 20 is Iowa, Ole Miss, Maryland, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. And 21 through 25, as we wrap up the list, is Syracuse, Michigan State, Penn State, Louisville, and Missouri. And I think everybody knows by now that I'm not a Georgia fan, so I'm not using Georgia as an example, trying to defend Georgia, because that's not my intention. But I always, no matter what I discuss, try to give my honest opinion and my honest thoughts, whether I like a team or not. But you look at this top 25 strength of schedule according to the mighty great ESPN. And then you look at Georgia's schedule and you realize Georgia plays Auburn, Mississippi State, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, South Carolina, Florida, and Missouri, which by my calculations is 8 of the top 25, which is pretty much 1/3 of the countdown. Not to mention they play Oregon to open up the season, and usually, unless they're just really, really bad, Oregon is typically at worst a top 25 team, which is probably right around where they'll be this year. So you play 8 teams that are in the top 25 according to ESPN in their strength of schedule, and then you play Oregon, who's typically ranked, in a non-conference game. So how do you play 8 teams that have one of the toughest schedules in the country, but yet you're not on the list? So all the teams you play are on the list, but you're not on the list. That makes absolutely no sense to me. I saw this list as I was getting ready for wrestling on Saturday afternoon, and when I looked at it, I just scratched my head and thought, how can I make this make sense? And I just can't do it. I just don't know how you play 8 teams that supposedly are all on the list for top 25 strength of schedules, but yet you're not on the list. So they make it on the list because they play you, but you don't make it on the list because you play them. I can't make that make sense. I've tried. I can't do it. I think it's just ESPN continuing to spew out their propaganda. I think they just throw out stuff and see what sticks. And unless you've been brainwashed, you just can't make that make sense. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Why did the Scarecrow get an award? He was outstanding in his field. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.